All right, stand by. All right, everybody. Hello, my friends and fellow gamers. If you all can hear me, give me a sign, because it's time for some mighty number 9. Here we go. So, all right, cool. I am audible, and that is perfect. All right, so chat, before we get into this, I need you to do me a very quick favor. Choose between the following 3 voice languages of English dub, Japanese dub, and French dub. Go. Hello, friends and fellow gamers. My name is TempestMask1000, and I am honored to once again present Mighty Number 9 to Big Bad Game-a-thon. For those that don't know me, I actually opened up Big Bad Game-a-thon last year with this very game, and in that case, I brought upon the Challenges run, which was a bit of a self-made category. This time, in the time since, I have learned the any % run, and I made it clear that I absolutely wanted to bring this to you all because I am not sparing you this time from the story. And so joining me are some heckin' awesome community members, the world record holder for this category and any % hard, my good friend Ipe Hopue, also known as JP.
Hello, yes, I also run these games, and I'm here to provide some commentary, help the Tempests to concentrate at times, so let's have a good dash.
Heck yeah. And you all know him for being one of the mightiest folks around, and mega rockin' folks around. I hope that was a 9 out of 10. LV Creed.
And this time I'm not doing any MS Paint shenanigans this time around. But yeah, I'm pretty much not a runner, but I'm definitely a community supporter. I actually like this game a lot for what it at least tried to do. But yeah, it definitely does have its place in this marathon. And hopefully Tempest Mask will do this game as much justice as the game may or may not have tried to do.
Well, it looks like the chat made their opinions very clear. For the first time ever, I am running on the French dub, and I am looking forward to all of it. Okay, so this is the any % category, and I would like somebody to do me a favor. Well, first of all, chat, first and foremost, anytime you see the game narrator make a call out, like good, great, quick, clear, all that, echo that in the chat. I loved seeing that last time. I want to see it again. Second, this game does get timed by IGT, so if people could keep the total time in mind for each results screen post level that I do, that would be great. All right, let's get going. Time will begin once I've confirmed normal difficulty, and that will be in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mighty number 9. And JP,
All right,
kick me off.
go ahead.
This game actually has an intro stage, kind of like a Mega Man X game here. This is pretty much just to tell the player about the basic mechanics of the game. Mostly, this is pretty similar to a Mega Man game, but there are a few quirks that are kind of different to this. First off, you might have expected some dashing, but for right now, we don't have that ability yet, so we're gonna be moving weirdly through this. This move Tempest is doing, we're gonna get over that a little bit later. But for now, the differences in this game, probably biggest one is the combat. Usually it's just like an enemy man or run and gun shooter thing. And you can destroy enemies this way, but it's usually not what the game wants. But that is what the game wants. It wants you to dash into these enemies, absorbing them. It gives you praise, it gives you boosts, it gives you points, it gives you it all. And the boosts actually are ones that also change the combat a bit. Depending on the color, the enemies bleed, and that kinda tells you what kind of a boost you're gonna get. The red one Tempest has right now is a attack boost that gives back a more powerful attack, and also once we get weapons, the weapons will use less weapon energy. Then there's an important one, the green one, that will give back a speed boost. I don't think I need to explain why that is important. Then there's the less useful yellow, which gives back a defense boost. It can help in a pinch, but mostly it's not that useful. And the blue one that Tempest just got, you get after absorbing some amount of these enemies, and it works like a E-tank. You can use it on command, and you can have two on your hand, but you can get only one from absorbing enemies.
So far looking pretty good with the first stage. Hopefully I don't jinx myself. Creed, would you like to explain any other details about the run itself?
Yes, so we're about to actually come up on the boss, and the boss is probably one of the more interesting mechanics that we're going to have in this particular game as Tempest tries to get through the rest of the stage. So when you actually come up to a boss, you're actually going to do kind of like consecutive damage. So you're going to be starting with your main weapon to deal a specific amount of damage before it gets to a specific color change. And once you do that, that's the moment where you actually use your acceleration dash to actually make the damage stick. If you're not able to get that particular acceleration dash while the character is glowing, the enemy actually regenerates health over time. So actually Tempest was able to defeat this intro stage boss very quickly, and now we're actually going to get to our mighty numbers, where the route is actually going to be pretty much weakness order. It's kind of like similar to Mega Man in that we're going to be going in an order where we're going to be doing weaknesses and so on and so forth. And we're actually going to start with Battalion stage. JP, if you would like to start us off.
Yeah, Battalion stage is one of the reasons we're going to start with this one is because the weapon is overpowered, and we're talking about Mega Man 2 Metal Blade. It's pretty much gonna make the Buster useless, other than a couple of scenarios maybe. But other than that, yeah, it's gonna be a powerhouse in destroying these enemies, and with that we can actually just use that to shoot and destroy the enemies at some points. And it's also useful for a invincibility glitch that we are gonna be actually do here a couple of times without it. So since we can't have the battalion explosion yet, we're gonna have to get kind of...
Ooh, a little early there.
Oh no. Yeah. Okay. We have to get creative. What they must try to do there was actually break these boxes and do the weird turn around and jump action. That weird turn around and jump action, during that you're actually invincible. And if Beck's footing gets broken off, or it breaks, while he's doing his turnaround before the jump, Beck will fall down and he will have his invincibility frames on. So you're basically invincible in quotation marks. There are stuff that will kill you, and there are stuff that will remove the frames. Stuff that touches your invincibility frames, like doing the jump move, changing rooms, cutscenes, and also the magenta purple spike things that are insta-kills, since this game has the Mega Man 1 problem of where even if you're invincible, insta-kill stuff mostly kills you. There's one kind of exception to this rule later on, but...
One stage from now anyway, yeah.
But for now, once Matt's weapon is available, we can go on top of breakable boxes, shoot a rocket, break the box, and get invincibility. But for now, we're gonna be using these treadmills, for example. You can, if you time your weird jump, I don't even remember the real name.
Action shift.
But yeah, action shift, nice. If you time your action shift at the right proper time, you get the invincibility there. And yeah.
Other than that, it's a pretty basic level, all things considered. So, in review, we have two types of iframe glitches, as it's called. I like to refer to the common method that was mostly present as the box destruction jump, and then what I just did there was the conveyor jump. So, keep that in mind. But other than that, yeah, iframes go away from anything that would expend iframes. So, actions that consume iframes, cutscene triggers, stuff like that. So, yeah, this game is not always going to let me keep my fun times, but, well, that's okay. But now we're moving to bat. Let's go.
Yeah, so the battalion fight, this guy is actually pretty aggressive. You do not want to take too much damage. Of course, for any Mega Man game, that's pretty much paramount. But regardless of the matter, you don't have your weapons with you, so you're pretty much going to be using your pea shooter as your standard means of offense. And of course, whenever he goes purple, we do the dash attack to get our damage to stay complete. dodge under this, or dash under, jump under. Make sure not to take direct damage towards that, because that is instant kill if you touch it, and it will explode over time, which also does instant kill damage. But overall, just pretty much just recognize Battalions' general movements, and you're pretty much gonna have a relatively simple time with them, as once again Tempest has pretty much demonstrated pretty well.
Good job.
I have never expected the next thing I say to be the boss to say that thing. Because this is the first time I'm playing on French, I had no idea that every time Bat jumps, he says, "Go, go, go!" That's so hilarious. I am... Chat, you made the right decision. I'm just going to verify that for you already. Alright, so now we're moving on to mixed stage, and we've got at least a couple of opportunities for me to get that early on iframe glitch, but now I have reselection, which means basically the same sort of copy power Mega Man had, except Beck gets a full cosmetic change. It's worth noting that that was the intent since Game 1 for Mega, but of course NES limits. Alright, I got it. Cool. So, one thing to also keep in mind is that anything that crushes Beck will kill him regardless of iframes, so yeah. Not as forgiving as what happens when you get crushed in Gunvolt, where you don't die, period. But, you know, it is what it is.
Talking about mixed stage for a little bit, as we're pretty much halfway through the stage. This stage is actually a very compact level, as you see throughout the entire stage. Very slim corridors, very slim drops, and of course a lot of pink, which also ignores iframes under normal circumstance, unless you're doing the iframe glitch. So you need to be very careful about your movements. It's very easy to get yourself in a position where you can just accidentally move a little too much, especially on those vertical drops where you can get caught into spikes. And of course, since you've seen Battalion's weapon in action, where it literally just blows up every single thing that's in the stage. The weapon is not only strong, but also has insanely good weapon consumption. One of the lightest weapon consumption in the entire game, with few exceptions. So once it pretty much just equip Battalion and go ham in the entire stage, trying to get the ability glitch along the way, and we're pretty much done with the stage. And one of the special things is, if you go to a stage that actually has a weakness stage, that weakness boss will actually help you in said stage, as you saw what Battalion did just now. And now we're on the seismic, JP.
I think it's a pretty straightforward fight. We don't want him to jump like that much, but yeah, of course he's gonna do that. He can also throw these wires. This desperation move that Mick has, it actually just makes the area a little bit smaller. Funny thing about that you can make Mick get crushed under those pillars. That's a big kill, and we haven't fully figured out how to do it consistently, but still. This fight is rather simple. This is go boom with your rockets and win.
The nice thing, yeah, absolutely, and that was a really good fight. I wanted him to get crushed. I wanted to see that happen for the first time, but alas, not today. I will say, though, that this is the one particular boss fight that you can activate the box destruction jump iframe glitch on. It takes a little bit more to bust those boxes down, particularly than any others, but it is very doable and can help you if you prefer to have it. Alright, moving on to Brand's stage. So, first of all, shout out to any of the Kickstarter cameos, because this game was backed on Kickstarter during its heyday, and people like Aaron, Eoraptor from Game Grumps, managed to get on these little billboards. If only I could recognize that guy in the yellow kimono-like outfit, though. He has a good art style. I quite like his picture. Other than that, though, yeah, not much else to say, except this is a highway stage. If you're familiar with the Mega Man Zero games, they had train levels, and in those cases, you did not want to touch the ground because that would count as an instant death hazard. So, basically, yeah, you don't want that to happen here. I am going to, I am a bit distracted by the French voice acting, quite frankly.
Yeah. Overall, this stage has also pretty horrible checkpoints. I don't remember about this part, but the second highway spot is definitely something to note. But yeah, this is a rather dangerous level if you let your guard down for a bit, especially this first part. But for now we're gonna get into a tunnel, and we are also gonna face a little bit of a gauntlet. Most of these stages actually have some sort of a gauntlet in the middle of it. I can't remember on the top of my head which stages don't have. I think it's pretty much every stage. But yeah, here is pretty much just going boom boom. Here you can actually spin this gauntlet by not every enemy, by just shoot some of them. And pick up rockets, I think, destroy
Yeah.
an enemy. But with the red power up, actually, I think some destroyed by just a single explosion.
Potentially. I know for a fact that it can be a bit confusing to think that maybe the red power-up will always up your attack power. Maybe that's not always the case, but we do know for a fact that your weapon consumption is lessened. I'm gonna try that again.
Well, to add to the point, the red power-ups also adds a piercing quality to your shots as well. You see that your pea shooter can actually shoot through enemies and can just pass through and hit other enemies as well.
Right.
But continuing on the highway, yeah, this is your general auto-scroller. You really can't speed this up. Seismic, if you already beat him and got his weapon, will make his appearance and does something I'm gonna assume it probably has something to do with making visibility better because there's a truck along the way. But of course, the most dangerous thing is that along the way, Brandish will appear and will destroy some of these vehicles, which are your footholds that we mentioned earlier. So yes, if you wind up getting caught in the footholds while Brandish car.
Oh, that was.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit.
This section has no checkpoints. You have to go with one life to the boss. If you fall down, you start from the beginning. Wonderful auto-scroller.
Well, technically, this is the checkpoint, but of course, the thing matter is you gotta have to deal with this long auto-scroller period. So if you wind up dying towards the end of the auto-scroller, then you're gonna have to do this all over again.
Yeah.
And, of course, you will have a boss checkpoint, but of course, like I said, you just got to deal with this section first.
I am a little embarrassed on that one, not gonna lie. That was absolutely something that never happens to me in any run. I swear that's Butterfingers? Yeah, we'll call it that.
But yeah,
welcome
this
to
is a
Game-a-thon, where things can be cursed at any given time. Not your fault. Just let the big bad Game-a-thon just have its way.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, hey, I'm having fun, so you know what? No big deal. Let's see if I can get the heal up, though. I imagine there's going to be a couple more stage signs. No, never mind. Forget it. All right, well, let's at least get ready for the Brandish fight. We got our, I guess, Resident Zero, except he's carrying some Kill la Kill scissor blades. I don't know. That's what I always think anyway, but yeah. So I'm going to try and get a desperation move skip. The Mick move is capable of breaking his blades, so I can manipulate him somewhat, but he has some alternate attacks that happen when those blades are broken. We don't know how to consistently get the DM skip in general, but I am not getting it today yet. And I might die too. This is going to be a little tough. I survived, wow. But, yeah, that was gonna happen. Yeah, like, Brand is a minefield.
You got the cool stuff, and then you wind up dying immediately after. So that's just the fate.
Indeed.
Yeah. You were like, okay, I got the cool, I can go now.
Yeah, alright, go ahead.
You get the other go for the desperation move skip, though. Let's see if you can get it this time.
That would be
Also,
nice.
yeah, Brandish is more like a cut man, as this definitely has some Mega Man references. Seismic is more like the Guts man. We'll see someone else, Donatron, who's actually kind of like the Elect man. You got Pyrogen, who's like the Fireman. You got the Cryosphere, who's like the Iceman. So yeah, technically in some ways you got your Mega Man 1 references in this game. So it's a spiritual successor for a reason. Whether it does a good job is your mileage may vary, but all that aside, to kind of just fill the air while Tempest takes care of Brandish, this weapon is actually a pretty neat one.
I agree.
Definitely.
It has a few interesting properties, such as the ability to reflect smaller projectiles, cut through others. The sword swing itself does not waste any ammo, and it has a couple of charge attacks that will come in handy for this next stage, especially when we get to the boss. For now, though, let's talk about the stage itself as I go into Mick for a little nice trick, and a shout out to runner Teki Tome, who had done runs without using the iframe glitch. What a legend.
Yeah, that changes the game quite a bit. Also, ASMR Sanda in French sounds weird.
Yeah, I was wondering how it was going to be. I know you like that stuff usually, but yeah, this is going to be I figured it was going to be a little different this time around.
Yeah. Sanda doesn't like dark. Sanda just goes all hammy.
It's so weird.
I mean, it's the case that Sanda kind of goes the voice actor for Sanda, at least for the English, kind of goes a little too hard, especially in this stage. That is kind of grating, but we're gonna see how he goes in French as this stage goes on, because there is a lot of Sanda in this stage. But let's talk about the stage itself. JP, if you do the honors.
Yeah, this stage has a couple of these gauntlets also. The first one is mostly just one of these most wonderful enemies known as the pigs, pretty much. I don't know their proper names.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, we call them pigs. Yeah, we call them pigs because they are small, they are annoying, they jump around, and they dodge most of your weapons. But because we have battalion, they are not that much of a problem. But yeah. Other than that, now that we're done with the gauntlet, we're gonna be moving on, and we're gonna be seeing some wonderful repressed memories of a first playthrough here. We're gonna talk about a little bit more about those. But this stage also has this lights out mechanic that every time, after every 10 seconds or something, lights go out, and that affects some enemies. Some enemies become completely passive, and others just don't get affected by that much.
I didn't know that, actually. Wow, I learned something new today.
Yeah, the box enemies especially. I have timed some of my movements in this room because of the box enemies. But yeah, these turbines, or whatever they are a noob trap pretty much. This section in particular is kind of difficult. Tempest did a great job there, but
I avoided the great incident of SGL 2021, where I didn't die to the one that gets most players, but rather an earlier one. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I remember bumping my head to those all the time.
I'm pretty sure most people mess that up on their first playthrough. It's not an easy thing to deal with.
And the whole point of that is it's meant to teach you the duck dash if you haven't realized it already. So, and yet even then, the stopgap behind it is very short. Like, you're gonna die there if you don't know how exactly to time it or space it, which is just unfortunate game design. All right, boss time.
All right, so for our Donatron fight, we're pretty much going to be using our blades here from Brandish. And pretty much just literally just slash her to itty bitty pieces. You can actually use it in a way to actually destroy these bits that she had, just like right there. If you get those bits to actually stick onto Beck, she will eventually fire an electric current that will eventually kind of track Beck down while it's stuck on him. But as you can see, Tempest is doing a lot of the interesting gimmicks that the brandished weapon is able to do, like a downward slash or a berserker style fury swipe by charging the button and either letting it go or holding the direction down to get the downward slash. So yeah, a lot of interesting gimmicks for the brandished weapon. A pretty solid fight on Dynatron, and from here we're moving on to our next stage.
Initiating Counter Shade Protocol. All right, just give me a second. Oh, this is gonna be so awkward. Got it. So you can't see me, unfortunately there's no webcam, but I am wearing shades during this stage, so yay, I finally did it. Alright, JP, explain this wacky stage for everybody if you would please.
Shade stage isn't the normal one, you're actually chasing after Shade here. And we have an optimal path for here. We show Shade there, but we don't want to attack him yet. We want to kind of manipulate his way where he moves. So we're gonna be going back because he's gonna be in the room where we started this whole stage. This stage is, I think you're supposed to meet Shade like 5 times, possibly 4. But we're gonna be going over this search and destroy part in 3 attempts, hopefully, by using Dynatron's.
I might have messed it up just a little with the powered up Buster, unfortunately.
Yeah, that looked iffy, but we'll see, we'll see. So yeah, you're kinda you're supposed to use Dino's weapon to damage Shade when you catch up to him. And after 3 shots, it's probably gonna go down. I usually use a couple of pellets to make certain that he goes down. And after that, we're gonna enter the boss fight. This stage is also relatively short. Well, even if you don't get the...
That's debatable. It's one of those stages where it can be as long and as long or short as you, the player, wants it to be. The whole hide-and-seek gimmick is really one of the notable points in this fight, in this stage. Unfortunately, Tempest wasn't able to get the quickest version of the Shade stage. But yeah, this is the reason why this can be as long and short as this stage can get. The whole hide-and-seek gimmick can be very taxing where you're trying to just try to find Counter Shade the entire time. And of course, because of the nature of this stage, this is another stage where you have 0 checkpoints. So all of the damage that you've done to Counter Shade and trying to do it, it all gets negated if you die at any given point. Probably one of the most notorious stages in the entire game, and probably one of the most hated. For decent reason, but of course, because of the fact that you can actually make it as short as Tempest at least attempted to do, it's kind of one of those 50-50 situations where you kind of like it or hate it if you know the actual means to do the gimmick and doing the gimmick quickly.
Alright, give me a second. There we go. Sheesh.
Actually, on time attack mode, you can make it 2 visits.
Looks like I'm hearing a little bit of digital here and there, by the way. Sorry about that, folks. A little technical situation that I can't really change on my end, but hopefully we're still coming as audible as possible, despite such.
Makes sense with the game, though.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, here we go.
Chat knows, chat knows. Shade's fight is pretty, well, it's a thing. Shade will go invisible, jump between certain designated spots, and start shooting at you. With Dyna, you can actually see where Shade is going if you manage to plant some of those Dyna pellets before he goes invisible. And this also has a desperation move skip. That is just, but that relies solely on your damage output before Shade goes into the place to do his desperation move. Let's see if you get it.
Bad pattern. Bad placement too. Yeah. The thing is, I wanted to get that damage confirmed, but even then it's a lot more easier to get that skip if he's on the same level as you. Those footholds, they only have room for to hold at least one person, so not much I could have done there.
Yeah. It has also this funny attack, I think it's Purple Bullet, reverses your controls.
Yeah, Purple Bullet reverses controls. I got to avoid that at all costs. Looks like that's not the case, though. I mean, well, no, sorry, it looks like that will be the case, excuse me, because I got him. Let's go!
Te dois une fière chandelle.
I can get used to the French. Snap out of it.
Yeah, well, at least I can take these shades off now. That was something. Not every day I get to show Shade's stage as the game wants you to play it, but we'll run with it. It's fine. Alright, not too many mighty numbers left. We still gotta go to our good friend Aviator, also known as Avi, and this is the most vertical stage you're probably gonna get out of this entire game. Let's go ahead and get things rolling, though, because we've also got these enemies that you can absorb them, and it actually gets counted as a sort of double bonus. So, yeah, that's kind of fun. I'll try to bust as much of these as I can, because I think that adds doubly so to the amount of energy my heal tank can get, at least if I'm not mistaken, anyway.
Yes, I've never noticed that.
Well, it does give you to 100%. I think it makes sense. Speaking of 100%, that's the value of Zell that Beck collects when he rams into the enemy. That's not something the speedrun needs to worry about per se, but the combo builds up for each 100% absorption I get. Anything less will break the combo. So if you're into score running, that is something to keep in mind if you, for some reason, want to try it with this game. Oh my god, his evil laugh in French is so corny, I love it.
Happy is one of the better voice actors, period, in all languages, so it's pretty much a bonus points here. But continuing on with the stage, now we pretty much hit the mid-boss here of Aviator stage. This flying helicopter mobile unit. Of course, we're gonna blast it to bits with Bataille's weapon, but at some point, yeah, you're gonna want to use this power to not only augment damage, but to make the health bar just melt like butter.
Oops.
At some points.
Ooh, that was a little bit of a mistake there. I blew up those turrets. I wanted to absorb them to get more red power, but we'll see how this goes.
Getting the red power up will make this fight a little faster, but as you can see, Bataille's weapon, even in this standard state, not powered up, still it just destroys this mini-boss is like it was nothing. Continuing on with the stage gimmick, because we really hadn't talked about the stage in itself. We know that this is pretty much the vertical stage, the tower stage, but this also counts as our sky stage. And the main gimmick is pretty much how the wind blows. The wind, depending on where it blows, can either help or hinder you. As you can see right now, the wind is blowing against Beck, so it's going to alter his movement. So you can see his walk is a little slow, his aerial dashes are slower, but of course, when we have the wind to our back, it actually augments our speed, and that can help or hurt depending on how Tempest manages his movement, especially in areas like that where you can actually wind up moving a little too fast, wind up hitting enemies, and wind up need to restart the whole sequence all over again. So right now, Tempest is doing a pretty good job of managing how the wind is controlling or manipulating Beck's movements. But of course, we're not completely done with the wind yet. We got one more particular wind gimmick that's going to be coming up towards the end of the stage. And we're actually using the weapon a little early. Counter Shade's weapon actually pretty strong. It pretty much puts everyone in an instant state where they can be dashed to get killed. And it actually homes in on enemies multiple times before it actually disappears. The problem with it is it uses a lot of weapon energy. So you only have a few shots to use, and you're going to be using a lot against Aviator, which is coming up right now. And you saw the final gimmick where the wind actually does the updraft and you do dashes in order to move vertically throughout the rest of the stage. And hi, Abby, JP.
This is a funny little thing. He has certain attacks, he just flies off the screen and does something. We want him to do like this attack or one where he swoops up and down. If he does his left to right and shouts this just in French, then we're gonna cry. This is a fun attack. 3 shots of Shade's weapon will allow us to absorb him, and that's pretty much it. We just hope we can get shots and get him to to us so we can dash into him.
Is it just me or did Avi say exquisite?
I have no idea.
Oh, this one's the one. Of course he had to pull that one off.
Yeah, a couple of times more, at least. Yeah. But yeah, the desperation move, this one I haven't at least figured out how to skip it. I don't know if someone has.
It's a weird tracking move. It really is.
Yeah, I mean like that, but to skip it completely. Never to see it.
That's true. Well, we had a good boss fight, so I can at the very least say, thanks, Avi.
Yeah, I think it was only this just once.
Yeah, he only did the bomb attack once, you know, that's good to have, but also I didn't have all that much trouble in general. I guess part of that too is because I wasn't trying to explain something, which is why I had such a late start the last time I showed off in a solo event run. So, you know, that's nice. Anyway, Pyro stage, oil and ice. JP.
Oil is actually the slippery surfaces are things for the next two stages. Here it's oil. For some reason, if you are giving movement inputs like left or right and dashing on oil, I don't think it does anything. But if you don't give any horizontal input, just press dash button, you will go a lot faster. And that's very much a thing here. Also, invincibility will be... We will take it for both of these. This is pretty short stage. Both of the sections, we have a first section, and now it ends, we have a little bit of a gauntlet. And after this gauntlet for the second section, we definitely want the invincibility frames. There will be some institute pillars that are in purple that will actually one hit. And those we can avoid with the invincibility frames. I guess it's because they are purple.
I would have liked to show off this gauntlet with Shade's weapon because it just looks so cool, but earlier in a practice session, I might have shot the bullet early and hit the enemy just as it spawned, which then caused it to become undamageable and thus soft-locked my attempt, period. So I had to play it safe, and, well, there's a good reason for that. I'll get into it, though, if I can just get out of this room. Come on, game. One second, y'all.
Yeah. Probably gonna go over this now. We are coming to the pillars, so now that Tempest has the invincibility frames, we are gonna be okay. But yeah, Avi's weapon. It is a wonderful weapon against Pyro. It's Pyro's weakness, obviously. And the way it works is that Beck can hold on his hand, just whirl it, like a fidget spinner thing. And it's also made to can make your jumps higher and it can make your descent slower. But you can also throw it like a zigzagging boomerang and then call it back to you. But if you throw it once and then switch your weapon and then switch back to Avi, you can actually have multiple of these on screen. And Pyro's... This was one way to deal with Pyro's fight. It's a Pyro juggle. And yeah, it pretty much makes Pyro a... not that big of a threat. This blue thing, though, if he hugs you when he's blue, you're gonna die. He hugs you so hard you get crushed. Other than that, this is a moving really good fight.
Whew!
Yeah, you didn't get hugged.
I did not get hugged, I did not get burnt, I did not get melted, all the above.
Wonderful.
Alright, one last mighty number to go. I do want to mention that the mighty number assist mechanic never, like, in terms of the speed run, the two that really help are Bat's case, because I suppose it makes that cutscene leading up to the boss chamber for Mick shorter, and then Avi, who prevents a few stacks from falling down, which that at least makes that passage a bit safer. Here's the funny thing, though, about Mighty Number 9. You unlock other difficulties after beating the game for the first time, and wouldn't you know it, all other difficulties, Hard, Hyper, and Maniac, you start off with every single reselection at your disposal from the get-go. It's very unique. So in a way, you could almost consider this category to be a bit slower because you don't have your powerful tools right away. I don't know though. It's kind of fun that way, I guess, too. It kind of sort of emulates that classic Mega Man experience that this game tried to give. So you know.
Yeah.
But hey, gentlemen, what's worse than a water level or an ice level?
Yes. but seriously, that's pretty much what Cryosphere stage is. A combination of water levels and ice levels. The first half is pretty much the water level, but the water level is pretty easy. The fact that you have an infinite dash throughout the entire game, since that comes natural with back, it makes most of the underwater segments pretty much trivial, and you can pretty much just dash completely over them. However, when you get to the ice portion of the level, that's when the platforming gets a little bit treacherous. One of the platforming gimmicks that Beck is capable of doing, he can actually ledge grab corners. However, because the stage after he deal with this mini boss here, which can soft lock if you do your damage proportions incorrectly, by the way. Once we ice barrier, you cannot grab any ledges. So if you fall down any part of the side, you pretty much forced and committed to fall down. And that's going to be pretty dangerous comes to a little portion of the stage where our insta-kill spikes are going to be littered on the floors. So for the most part, you just pretty much deal with all this slippery sliding, the fact that bears trying to recover, and of course these mini boss fights, which Tempest is able to get through. Now let's see if Tempest can the stage out and go to our Cryosphere fight.
Oh, shoot! The knockback saved me there. What the heck? That never happens any time I try that section, but I can't believe
never happened before.
That's never happened before. I'll say it here. I'll say it again. That's never happened before.
That was amazing.
I love it.
Cryo fights water stream and freezes it, trying to freeze you in the process. Pyro is the weakness. You just pretty much go for boom boom as much as possible. And yeah, Cryo has actually White's short life bar. Only 3 dashes required. And
yes!
The desperation move is, yeah. She gets easy to hit. If she freezes you, she goes to Sonic the Hedgehog mode and tries to jump over you in a spiky ice ball. But we didn't see that, and that's always a good thing.
So just to make a quick note, since we haven't talked about it, Pyrogen's resurrection is a little unique. It's kind of like, if you want to make a comparison, it's kind of like Atomic Fire from Mega Man 2, where you kind of need to charge it for a little bit before you get to max strength, but it takes so long to charge to its max strength for the Cryosphere fight. You definitely want to take the smallest yet quickest charge in order to get consistent damage as fast as possible.
Ready? Go!
And then Cryosphere's weapon works where all it really does is shoot out an ice pellet in a downward arc. It can pass through floors, and it does have the ability to freeze enemies, which not only does like chip damage to them, but also slows them down. But other than that, the lack of variety of what else it can do is probably what makes it the trickiest weapon to use, in my honest opinion.
One of these.
All right.
Yeah.
So now we've entered the late game. Now I'm gonna spoil this right away in case y'all didn't know. Oh, come on, Door. Really? There are no boss refights. There are no refights against the mighty numbers, which makes this definitely different from the standard of Mega Man-like games, especially when it comes to some of my favorite. But that's neither here nor there. What we do instead get are these final 2 levels. I actually went to the Robot Factory first because some of you might not notice that you can choose that or the prison in whatever order you want, which is really nice. But now, hi Mom.
This is the mini boss fight. You're just gonna have to shoot the eye.
I'm gonna probably die.
Oh yeah. You're not. If after a little while the eye goes behind a shield and you can shoot it, you have to destroy all the robots on the field before the eye comes back up. Yeah, that's bad, but yeah, at least there's a checkpoint right before.
Exactly, so at least it's not that bad.
Yeah, and also with the normal mode, you can choose the amount of lives to start with. So using 9 lives is good for marathon safety and is overall good for safety.
And for good reason. The only way we can accurately judge IGT is through that results timer, which you can't get back if you game over or retire from a stage. So game overing or leaving a stage prematurely is going to invalidate your run at any given moment. So far, we've had a valid run, which I love to see. But other than that, not much else to say except, you know, be careful, I guess.
I want to show a piece of the power of the counter-shaped weapon. It puts everyone the instant resolution state to be dash kill. It holds in on multiple points. I said just signifies what the counter-shaped weapon does. But meanwhile, we got a little bit of a well, there. If you want to call this a rebuy, we got a revamped version of our intro stage boss, in which now we have a weapon to deal with it. We just pretty much just mashing, not the branded this blade. We pretty much just hop socking in it and just stress.
That's a symbolism for Mighty Number 9 reboot.
Sheesh, come on. All right, there we go. Whoa, no!
One thing actually probably didn't mention that if you get hit during a dash, you lose control of Peck for a further time, and at the points like that, where there's a death hits or something that kills you below you, it usually means you're hit during a dash.
And that was intended to. That's an intended game mechanic in that the game is meant to punish you if you get hit during an acceleration dash. And that's spelled A-X... Wait, no. Oh god, how do I spell that again? Anytime you hear the word Zell, it's spelled Z-E... No, X-E-L. I can't even with English right now.
Well, we're talking French for the first who the game is.
Right.
So you can be forgiven.
Okay. Spell it in French then.
Alright. So yeah, we got a mob room where Shade and Cryo are actually helping out a bit, so that's pretty neat. Other than that, I'm just trying to get through things as best I can, and then... okay, if I take too long, then Brand will just do a little bit blade clear to remove everything on the screen, but that did not happen. I'm probably going to use my heal now. Unfortunate, but hey, that is what it is. Nice!
Coming up is a wonderful boss. Mom is back, and she has this little robot helper here. Its big point is the eye. You're gonna put Dynatron pellets and hope you get rid of it quickly. So you can get to damage the mom robot itself. It's similar to the mini-boss, but if you don't one-cycle this, the bot, you can see it's getting built back up, the helper robot.
You know what? I'm gonna let that happen. There's no way I was gonna cycle that. Safety for the sake of safety. So let's hope that it doesn't do the move that it still does. Wait, not what? Oh man.
Yeah, it must be. You can well start with this boss to prevent this move from ever happening, but yeah, you have to be pretty quick with your cryo shooting.
Well, that's just unfortunate.
You just have to dance Macarena here and hope you don't die.
Well, you can also use Aviator's propeller and actually shield yourself from the dropping bombs to protect yourself as well, but yeah, it's still a very annoying thing to deal with this long. It's important what you can shoot or attacking while it's doing it, so it's a very long phase that you're unfortunately wanting to try to avoid, but you know, it's a situation where you can't.
Yeah. And it's easy to run out of cryo ammo here.
Okay. By the way, I like to refer to that moment whenever I get that desperation move from that nameless robot, literally called Nameless or something like that. I like to refer to that as Mighty Number 9's Impact Jail, which, if you're familiar with Mega Man 11, there's no escape!
That would help me.
Hey man, I had to. All right, now we're moving into a level that was made possible through Kickstarter backers, and while it features a character that I quite like, this was not a good level to add into the game. Quite frankly, I hate to say, I think we would have been better off not having this stretch goal met, but alas, we are now playing as the wonderful Call, and luckily, the future appearance in Mighty Gunvolt Burst did do her a lot more justice than it does here. But the general gist is that unlike Bex, she can't fire multiple shots, she can only do one at a time. It's a little bit bigger, but even then, yeah, no. The thing about rapid shooting with her is you have to be very close to the enemy and make sure that that shot counts. Otherwise, you're probably going to be there for a little while. And yeah, she otherwise has some nice convenience, such as the ability to hover, though. And interestingly enough, she does do a little duck crawl, which, you know, compared to Beck's duck dash, is a lot more controllable. It's not fast, but I mean, hey, nothing wrong with that.
Well, honestly, I think the actual stage mechanic, where it's basically a stealth, kind of a pseudo-stealth mission from the cards, that's fine. That level gimmick is fine. It's when you get stuff like this, where Call winds up suffering because of her weaknesses in offense. Because of the weaknesses in offense, you can't destroy things quickly. You have no means to, like... Her offensive capabilities is insanely limited, and it makes these gauntlet stages insanely slow. You pretty much got to depend on your mashing, in which that your buster being so insanely weak, and you have no means to quick kill like Beck does with his dash. This winds up being a slog of a situation, and winds up doing Call stage much less justice as it already has. But right now, Tempest is pretty much doing a good job making short work of these gauntlet, and we're pretty much just on our way to our last stretch where we got some more platforming and an even worse boss.
And we'll get to him when we get to him. We got some more stuff to go through, including, but not limited to, more security bots and instant death traps. Yay!
Corridor of death.
Oh, this could be bad though. Yeah. I'm not liking the precariousness going on here. Well, you know what? It was bound to happen. Well, hey. I think I'm still looking on good pace, all things considered. Wow. I didn't know you could do that. So, okay, I've been trying to avoid those patch robots this whole time. What they do in this level is, the mini ones particularly anyway, refill Call's energy shield, which is, now that I think about it, everyone tends to forget about that, so I'm displaying it right here. Basically, any small projectiles that come at her get reflected. It can be helpful for defensive purposes, but otherwise it's, for most other attacks, not so much. Alright, here comes the tricky part. Okay, first try, let's go. And now, the old guard derp, as Creed likes to call him.
The guard derp.
Yeah.
Sorry. Kind of like a callback to Sigma's doggo. This doggo is not very kind.
Very.
Yeah, this dog, you can, as said, Call's damage output is pretty, well, weak. And this robot has a couple of things that Call can do to damage it. First off, shooting the eye, as we did. But without the eye, we cannot damage it. So what can we do to get rid of this boss? We have to feed it. If we feed this dog a turret like Tempest just did, it will grow a new eye. So we can shoot it again. And this will deal minimal damage. Like 2 eyes, and we have barely made a dent into it. The boxes that the bots bring can also contain bombs. If we feed him the bomb, it will take a huge chunk away from it. 3 bombs are enough to destroy this boss from full health completely. So, you'd be expecting that if we get 3 bombs, it's a fastest kill, right? No. We cannot get 3 bombs in a row. Because the first 4 boxes the bots kind of dropped there, contain 2 ice and 2 bombs. It's always those in a different order. The order is the only thing that's randomized. And the 5th one can be either or, and the 6th one can be either or, and so on and so forth. So, we're gonna have to wait through 5 boxes until we're finished with this fight. And this is really slow.
Pretty much just like everything else in this stage, where it depends on combat recall.
Yeah.
But there is, I don't know. There is one trick that could be pulled off if you're lucky.
It's a very risky one, though.
Yeah, definitely risky. It's not usually worth it. But if you get a pattern where you get through 2 bombs, the next ones you can be sure that they are gonna be turrets. You can actually drop the turrets on top of the dog and destroy them completely, so the dog won't eat them actually, and will just continue jumping around like nothing happened. And if the 5th one is actually a bomb, you can just feed the 5 bomb. It's pretty. It's a quick way to kill this.
But it's luck. It could be, but it's very luck based. So
yeah,
it's
complete luck though.
I was considering it, but alas. All right, before I explain the other 2 ways to destroy things, just to wrap that notation up. I'll wait for it. Yeah!
Oh, God bless you, Sonda. You are a guy.
You are quite the guy indeed. 2 other ways that you can destroy things with K9 is, well, he can either jump on them or stuff, but then there's also the tragic happening where he just completely misses the bite. And yeah, neither of those situations are fun if you did not intend it. By the way, those the little sentry droids in that level and the big eye robots, not even Beck can destroy them. The big eye robots, I mean, you just gotta shoot the eye and have the blade destroy the bot. But in a challenge level, I believe it was Trial 23, if you all remember watching my run from last year, you can't destroy them no matter what. Those things are just programmed with invulnerability up the wazoo. So it's not just Call's combat, but also the enemies that they happened to make for that stage, which is at fault. Oh, I figured. Thanks for the catch.
Yeah, this gauntlet can be a funny thing because sometimes the enemies can hide behind your life bar. You can actually hide it. I don't remember if it was like H on keyboard. I don't know about console versions.
I don't even remember that being a thing. Wow.
Yeah, I think it was. I remember someone telling me that, yeah.
Alright, just a little bit more. We are on the final level, though, so remember, no boss rush to be had here, which is why I like to think that Mighty Gun Volt Burst returns the favor in kind, quote-unquote, but yeah, nah. For now, let's just focus on the idea that actually I'm going to be taking a little bit of a secret route that I'm sure some of you might have not realized at first. But then there's the main stage mechanic of these Proto-Zel blocks, which, Creed, can you explain that?
Oh, these blocks are kind of weird. The game really doesn't quite explain how these blocks work. Because the thing is, when you get close, they actually, and once you get a few shots in, they do actually turn into platforms, but they can be completely destroyed, and they can actually never return unless you go a specific distance back where they actually reform, and you can do the whole process of trying to get them to become standable platforms again. It's kind of finicky in that regard, because like we said before, it really doesn't tell you all this, but since we do know, especially Tempest as the runner, he knows exactly how to get these in a position where they can be destroyed and which ones can work as platforms, and also if he needs to recover to actually back away for a little bit to have these things reset to try the whole process over again. All in all, it's an interesting gimmick, but the way that it was conveyed could have been handled much better than it could have been. Of course, that's pretty much the whole statement within the game in a nutshell.
All right, let's see if I can get that glitch one more time. Hang on, I'm not feeling that. Not quite, but there's still a chance. What I don't want, though, is this elevator to fall down. Hang on. Okay, I'm not going for it. Yeah, it's okay. It's whatever. It was just too, it's not the most important thing in the world, really. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay, proceeding.
Yeah, welcome back, RV's little mechanical movements. For a couple of seconds at least. Not that long of a section. This is kind of dangerous though, as you can kind of rise up these vertical beams a bit if you dash, but not that much. So if you fall kind of low, it's gonna take a while to dash back up.
Not quite enough for the heal. Unfortunate, because I felt the need to pop it when I didn't realize, oh yeah, there was something that I could pick up in the little hidden path that I didn't have to do that. Oh well. Well, final boss time. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, this comes in two phases, surprise, surprise. We have this yellow devil knockoff thing first. When Trinity is huge, you can damage her. When she kind of shrinks in size, you can damage. And the quick kill here is to go behind her and match rockets, because battalion shipments is still overpowered. It's a very rhythmic and, well, not consistent trick, but yeah, as we saw, we didn't get it this time. But it still took plenty of damage, so we could easily finish off here.
All right.
The second phase is a wonderful thing.
Creed, explain.
Yeah, Creed.
Hang on.
Alright, so welcome to our pretty little flower that is the second opportunity. So the main thing is, at least for the first part, you saw that you gotta get Trinity down to ground level so you can actually try to get in position to deal damage with whatever weapon that's available. In this case, once again, we're using Battalion as a starter. But there are multiple phases to this fight where you can use multiple other weapons to try to destroy the fight as well. Like you can see right here, Tempest is using Brandish's weapon to try to deal as much damage as possible. Of course, this is still a bit of a rough fight. Definitely a place where players can definitely stop the game, because not only is both forms are pretty rough. Once you, like I said, once you see Tempest die, if you die in this fight, you gotta do the whole fight over. So you gotta do this phase again. Plus, you gotta try to redo the second phase all at once. So this fight can be pretty tedious to try to handle. I'm pretty sure when I tried to do this fight when I first played it, I literally looked up the speed run to see how the speed run tried to kill this phase. It was the exact same method as we see right now, just mass missiles. At least for the first phase.
I'm a little bit nervous. This does tend to be a bit of a run killer, for better or for worse. I mean, well, never for better, really, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
The final boss.
Serious time and soda up.
Yeah. Also, the band sword actually protects you from some projectile-based things, like the globe or whatever smudge the Trinity throws. When you're slashing away with Brand's weapon, you're actually also trying to protect yourself from the projectiles. Yeah. I was just hoping.
That was a little bit weird. And unfortunate. Okay. Tell you what.
Yeah.
We gotta keep trying for just a little bit longer. I will not, however, attempt to prolong this for way too long. I believe that if I just play this safe enough, I will be able to finish this fight. Unfortunately, that could very well not be the case. It wouldn't be the first time, and you know what? It is what it is if that's the case, but I don't know. All I do know is, Trinity, please, please behave. All right. Not necessarily looking good on current health loss. I would much rather have all of my health if at all possible, but We are going in A-OK into the second phase, so maybe this might be it. All right. Whew. Okay, brief little invincibility during the dash there. That's always helpful. Okay. All right, now to Brand. Ooh, so close.
Oh, no.
Almost.
Yeah, I'm not gonna see the desperation. Yeah, now we're gonna see the desperation move. This is just dodge. You can't do that much. But then it goes back to the move it began with, as being that huge tower of a vertical whir.
Okay, we gotta be very careful here. Just a little bit more. Come on, Beck. Dodge. Okay. Time's coming up once I hit the core. Time! Oh, that was so close. My God, I have never felt so much adrenaline on a bit of a scuffed run, but honestly, a complete run is good for me. It's good enough for me. Oh, man.
Hey, GG's though.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you, the two of you, coming to join me for commentaries. I know it's been a while, and I always appreciate having some folks that I quite honestly look up to tagging along for these runs. So thank you, Creed and JP, for joining me today.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, we actually like this game. For all the bad that this game has, we do generally like it. We don't believe it's as bad as a lot of the more vocal dissenters give it, but it does rightfully have its place in Big Bad Game-a-thon, considering the product that we got, no question, but we still like the game for what it is.
Indeed, indeed,
Definitely.
indeed.
Speedrun definitely makes it feel. I feel it kind of irons out some of the, well, not good things about the game. Not everything, of course, but some of it, some of the design kind of turns a bit. I don't know. I definitely started enjoying the game a lot more after started running it.
Seriously, that was so much adrenaline, and I still need to eat lunch. All right, we're gonna do some quick shout outs so that we can get moving on with the marathon. Big shout out to the Mighty Number 9 community. If you want to join and potentially learn the speed run, we do have a Discord that you can find the invite link at the speedrun.com leaderboard page. Other than that, we very much appreciate new faces if you are so willing to give this a go. You can find this game available for Wii U, PlayStation 3, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And I accidentally shut down the game. I was going to show my menu time, but you know what? Who cares? That said, though, thank you all for having me. Big Bad Game-a-thon. It's great to be back with this game, and hopefully it won't be the last time you guys see me in the near future. So if you'd like to follow me, I'm Tempest here on Twitch, same name on YouTube, and I also go by It's Tempest Steve if you want to check out any potential updates from me for Twitter. Yeah, enjoy the rest of the marathon, everyone, and can we get a quick, oh boy! All right, until next time, ciao amici.